not remember the specifics.
I'm thinking about, and this isn't even necessarily as good objectively as far as I think your word's better, but as far as remembering it, I think it would be easier if the second word was analyzation. And maybe even switch acknowledgement for affirmation. So you have affirmation, analyzation, appreciation.
Well, okay, the specific nuances of those words, I feel like make a little bit more sense than that.
I agree, but then I think the actual process of running them, that's not the case. Like, in other words, if you look at the dictionary Jesus Christ, the dictionary definition, then you are correct. I had to put on a white person accent there just to fucking say the word. But I think when you actually think about running it, I think that the word analyzation calls to the process. But I'm not sure about that. I'm not definitively making that statement. I'm saying that is something to think about.
I would say is like, in a sense, like, yeah, you're analyzing the situation, but the second step is supposed to be like the
No, I apologize. I think what I'd actually do is I would do analyzation, affirmation, appreciation. What about that? Because I feel like acknowledgement is sort of a Buddhist type word, and Western type word. So it's not that either one of them is better, but it's that acknowledgement promotes that idea I don't personally like of objectivity. Well, the Buddhists do it in a way where it's not actually objectivity, so they're not technically doing anything wrong, or not the Buddhists, more like the Taoists. But you know what I mean. Or do you?
I mean, like, I definitely agree. It's just like my connotation of it is like to analyze it. Like, first, you've already accepted that it's there. But I'm saying, like, we're talking the step one. We're talking step one, which is before you could analyze the situation. It's like, but what do you analyze?
Well, at that point, my question would be, what role does that serve in someone trying to run it, like, or understand it? Where it's like, in other words, I would agree that acknowledgement would be the first step, but I would also say that it's almost like telling someone to get like a cup for the water. It's like
well, but the thing is, like, it leads because,
step.
like, it can be unnecessary. But the reason why I include that in the first place is because of because of all issues you have, the worst issues will be the ones that you don't even think about and don't consider and actively avoid and ignore and deny any thoughts that you have of. That is.
But isn't the process of finding those analyzation and not acknowledgement? Because you can only acknowledge the things that are already within your purview. That's kind of like what I don't like about the Eastern thing. Is it's like you need to acknowledge what is there, and it's like, yeah, but the whole thing is like the fact that if you try and do that, you're gonna miss something because you can't be the thing which is acknowledging. You have to be the process of analyzation, so that nothing.
I guess my connotation of acknowledge is like I am accepting you as a part of my life. I'm accepting that this is an aspect of my existence, and I can no longer like put that aside. I can't ignore that anymore.
I would say that, like I said, these words are like perfectly interchangeable. I would not say that one is better than the other, but I would say, I feel as though the content of acknowledgement is contained within the definition of analyzation. However, analyzation holds the context of a process that is important in making sure people don't get caught up in the idea that they can be the acknowledger.
Like, analyzation would be like a perfect term for like all of them. Like, as a process, like, to analyze, you would do those three things, and all of them would fit under that category. I feel like that. Yeah, just as far as the connotation of the word.
No, I don't think so. I really don't at all. I think that analyzation would only fit as the first one because analyzation would be the starting step. And like, in other words, like, even in your process, I think that there's a step missing between acknowledgement and affirmation that would be the analyzation, because it's an inevitable part of the process, whether it's acknowledged or not. At some point,
that's what I was saying.
You have to.
And analyzation would be like that sub part. It would be like step 1, 2, 2 is analyzation.
Yeah, but But then what I would say is like, but if that step includes the first step, then instead of taking it as an implied step, you make it inherent by just replacing the first word with analyzation. So then you just have analyzation, affirmation, and appreciation. And then the process would be you would search your mind for the all of the thoughts, and then you by that process you would actively acknowledge all of them. You would be aware of all of them, and then through that you would try and guide all of them towards the process of affirmation. You would try to guide your active mind state in the direction of affirming, and then through that you would reach appreciation, where you would
Really, so
then
your main argument is that to analyze, you would
already
end up
be
acknowledging things.
yes, but to acknowledge you're leaving out the inevitable step of analyzing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that.
But we should write both of those down though in modern. Or I guess we can do that in the video. But I don't know. I kind of want that on shorthand.
Well, so I wrote down the other three, and then I'll just write down analyzation question mark right next to it.
And then say as step one. That's weird. I like analyzation, affirmation, appreciation. Like I like that as a framework I would use in my own life, but I don't know where to fit that into the pyramid really. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what character to give that, or like it doesn't even need to fit onto the pyramid like physically, as long as it's expressed by one of the characters in the pyramid to like further
To
the
me,
explanation.
the beauty of it is like it's like stupid simplicity. So like maybe that at the end of it is like that's just what Braxel just like gives to someone. It's like, man, this is what you do with a thought texture.
Braxel's right now, he has one, which we're going to get to by the end of it. Braxel's the last one you know about, and it's not that different, but the last one you know about is appreciation, feedback loop. And so, like, that would be what Braxel's is right now. The modern equivalent of that is Braxel's things. And maybe, like, we could just do both, but then you've got, like, two versions of the same thing. Or, I mean, just combine them, flatten them. But you'll see, you have to see what the modern one is. The modern one is fascinating. Okay, go over. Okay, to put in Discord. No, put it in the task board chat we created on Voxer. Put all of everything that's on Discord right now, get it off of Discord and put it in Voxer where we actually see it again. And then tell me once you did that, because there's nothing I want you to write.
All right, done.
Okay, now write appreciation, determination, collapsible versus analyzation, affirmation, appreciation.
Versus analyzation what?
Affirmation, appreciation. So read it back to me.
Is it appreciation, determination, collapsible versus analyzation, affirmation, appreciation?
Say that again, slowly.
Appreciation, determination, collapsible
Yes.
versus analyzation, affirmation, appreciation.
And then say for Braxel's spot on the pyramid and hit send. We good?
Yeah, I got sent.
stuff. Okay, well, we'll talk about that after we get to the modern interpretation. And remind me if we don't, because I want to talk about that. I've been thinking about that all day long. I've got no idea. Okay. Thank you. Stop lagging. Thank you. Stop lagging. Stop. Yeah. God damn it, you cunt. No, don't do it. Why would you do it? What? God damn it. All the way down. I don't know why this time. Fucking retarded. God.